All right, welcome back, students. I hope you have had a terrific break. So unfortunately, we do have to get back to the classroom, but this quarter, one of your courses that myself and Dr. Agarwal will be coordinating is Integrated Sequence 1. Now, in this course, two very important concepts will be covered: pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. Now, you've probably already heard of these concepts, but we're going to really explore and introduce a lot of the major components that influence drug effect in terms of pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. So, for your benefit, I am going to provide an example, or let's say sort of a painful example at the expense of me, to help kind of illustrate some of these concepts. The drug-receptor interaction. All right, so as part of the drug-receptor interactions, you're going to hear a lot about a concentration response curve. You're going to see values like Kd and Ki. Oftentimes you'll see these values in your textbooks and in many of the classes that you take moving forward, and these values indicate how well a particular drug interacts with a receptor. Okay, and for many drugs, their effect is strongly influenced by how and to the certain degree that they interact with these receptors. You'll hear terms like potency and efficacy, okay? And so to illustrate, or at least attempt to try to spice up this conversation about pharmacodynamics, I am going to eat some spicy food for you guys. It's going to be pretty painful, but I'm doing this to help illustrate some of these concepts so that you can use these examples to think of how drugs might potentially influence the body. Because just like drugs, many things that we eat, such as spicy food, they act very similarly with a concentration-dependent manner. And so, for your pleasure, I'm going to eat some really spicy peppers. All right, students, so I just mentioned that I'm going to eat some spicy food to indicate some visual or a spicy example of how drugs or maybe food can interact with receptors to cause or elicit a response or an effect in the body. Okay, so when we eat spicy food, there's a specific chemical or set of chemicals that interact with receptors that are located in our tongue that produce that effect or that sensation of spice or heat. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got a sweet pepper. So many of you probably have tried these sweet peppers. You can buy them in the stores, and most of you already know that they're probably not that spicy. Okay, so secondly, I've got a jalapeno pepper here, and so many of you who like spicy food probably recognize that this does have some heat, and it does provide a terrific flavor, in my opinion. Third, I've got a habanero pepper. So many of you probably understand that the habanero pepper is a little bit more spicy than the jalapeno pepper. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to end on a potato chip that my friend in Texas generously provided me. You've probably seen these potato chips on YouTube or some videos on the internet where people try these. It is literally a dare for people, or a challenge as the chip says, to eat this chip. It is supposedly covered with Carolina Reaper, a very hot pepper that is, I think, considered the second or now third hottest pepper on the planet right now. So I will eat this at the end, and so think as I eat these, what's actually happening for me in terms of perceiving the sensation of heat. Okay, and so we're going to use this example in our class to sort of indicate efficacy for a particular drug. So in this example, we're going to think of the spicy peppers, or some will be mild and we will progressively get hotter. But the effect that these hot peppers have is what we're considering a effect, okay? I am perceiving a sensation of heat, okay? And we're going to use this example in our class. So here we go. So for challenge number 1, I've got the spicy pepper. Now, you've probably already tried these. They're not that spicy, but I'm going to go ahead and try it anyways. So here I go. They're pretty sweet. There's not a lot of spice to it. The flavor is actually really nice, but yeah, I like spice, so there's not much spice here. Really can't detect any spice at all. So there must be some reason why I'm not detecting much spice, but we'll get to that. So that was pretty good, but again, no spice. So let's move on to the jalapeno. All right, so moving on to the jalapeno. As you can see, I've got a fresh jalapeno that I purchased from the supermarket. And so I'm going to go ahead and eat this for you guys. So there you go. It's the flavor is terrific. Let me see if I can finish this. So there's a little bit of heat. It's not one of the hotter jalapenos. I can slowly start to feel that heat kind of building up in the back of my throat and on the back of my tongue. Okay, and so there's some reason that the sweet pepper did not have as much spice, but the jalapeno is at least detectable. It's a little bit more spicy. So while it is spicy and delicious, it's not quite the heat that I think I can handle. So let's step it up a notch and let's move on to the habanero here. All right. All right, guys. So I just did the jalapeno challenge, and there was some heat. It did kind of burn a little bit, a lot more than the sweet pepper did. So I guess now let's move on, and I'm gonna eat this habanero pepper right here. So I know it's not in focus, but here we go. So I'm expecting this to be significantly hotter than the jalapeno. And so it's going to be your job to tell me when we get into class why these keep getting hotter and hotter and why I keep perceiving that heat. So I'm really nervous about doing this one. So here it goes. So it's pretty hot. Definitely hot. Definitely much hotter than that jalapeno. Okay. So, whew. Yeah, there's a reason why I couldn't do this in class. We can't have food in the classroom, so that's obvious. And whew, I don't know if I can make it through the lecture after eating that. Okay, yeah. I may have to take a break. Oh, maybe this was a bad idea. Man, I'm gonna make it through this. Oh my gosh. Quite a bit spicier than the jalapeno. My eyes are starting to water. My mouth is on fire. Oh my gosh. Oh. Whew. I feel like I'm hallucinating. Yeah. I'm going to need to take a break. And I'm going to come back. We're going to try to finish this lecture. And I'm going to eat this. And, oh my gosh. You guys better all make A's for me going through this. Now my nose is running. All right. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back when I can talk. All right. We'll see you guys in a bit. All right, students. So I'm back. I had to take a little bit of a break because that habanero was pretty intense. So now, without any further ado, we're going to do this one chip challenge here. Let me get this started. And so I guess let's go ahead and open this up. Again, I do not recommend doing this at home. Comes sealed in a nice hermetically sealed bag. I'm gonna open this up. Oh my gosh. I can tell this is gonna be pretty hot. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm gonna be real careful getting this out because I don't want too much of this getting on my hands. Oh my gosh. So here's the chip. And so again, I don't recommend doing this at home. So without any further ado, here we go with the last challenge. Okay. The heat has not hit yet, but I can tell. Okay. So it's pretty hot. I think this is going to be one that's going to slowly creep up. Okay. At this time after... Here it comes. Whew. Yeah, this one's pretty hot. Now I'm saying the overall heat probably is pretty up there, pretty close to that habanero. I'm gonna be careful not to touch my hands to any of my mucous membranes, my eyes or my nose. Definitely hot. Definitely, the heat is. Now it's really getting up there. Whew. Oh my goodness. This is up there with the habanero. Again, I do not recommend doing this. I'm doing this in my home because I can't obviously bring food in the lecture. And I don't know if I could continue lecture after eating these. Yeah, this is very painful. Oh my gosh. It is literally burning my mouth. There you have it, guys. The one chip challenge. I don't recommend you guys doing this, but if you want to understand the concentration response curve, we're going to talk about what the compound is that's actually eliciting the response in lecture. But if you're a good student, you'll go look that up before class. You probably already know what compound I'm talking about, but we're going to use this example in lecture. Whew. I think this is just as hot as the habanero. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to go ahead and get my water here. Wow. So that was pretty hot. All right, so I'll be back here in just a second to finish up this quick little lecture, and then we will finish up. All right, I'm back, students. So that habanero and that Carolina Reaper tortilla chip was excruciatingly painful. So I had to wait just a little bit before I came back and finished this video for you. What the example should illustrate to you is that this is a nice, easy way to understand that increasing the concentration of something, such as a drug or a component in our food, such as the spicy food, can tend to increase the response, our physiologic response to that drug or that compound in that food or spicy food. So this is going to be a great way to illustrate and provide a good, fun example for some concepts that we will talk about during the integrated sequence 1 course, such as pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. And we'll talk about how this concentration response curve is really, really important for how drugs work in the body. So go ahead and think about what the example that I've painfully illustrated for you, and use that to think about how to translate that for drugs in our bodies. So go ahead and read chapter 1 and chapter 2 in your Golan textbook. And then I will see you guys on the first day of class, and we will start to discuss these concepts. So hope you had a terrific break, and welcome back.